Hello, it's Natives Podcast again. I know you can't wait to hear us, but this is Harry MacArthur, and I'm sorry to tell you, then you got to live through another one of these, but this is going to be a good one because we have Bob Thornton here, and we have Paul, and Paul's going to tell you his story because it's a lot better than my story, you know, and you're going to enjoy it, and it's part of this business, and it's exciting, so I can't wait to hear him tell it, and I'm going to turn it over to Bob now.
And I'll tell you how big a dork I am. I actually woke up early this morning because I was excited to hear the story. And now that I met you, I want to hear how you didn't punch that guy in the face. So, so Paul, if you're
just jump to it. Real quick.
I'm sorry.
Forget the growing up part.
No. We're gonna start off easy. If you could tell us, if you're comfortable, just where you grew up and what it was like in school.
Of course. So I grew up in South Florida, in Broward County, Cooper City, to be precise.
Yep, Cooper City.
I'm the youngest of four. You know, my dad was a chef. That's where I got the passion from it. He was the executive chef of Hofstra University before they moved down here, which is unfortunately why I'm a Jets fan. So,
we'll light a candle for you.
They did good in the draft. We'll see.
They did excellent in the draft.
We'll see how it plays out, but it's the Jets, so they usually give it up in the fourth quarter. So graduated from obviously Cooper City High School, and then I went to Johnson & Wales in North Miami. Graduated from there. I was working in hotels. Mostly I was at the Biltmore down in Coral Gables, and then after that I went up to Fort Lauderdale to open the St. Regis that turned into the Ritz-Carlton. I was there for 5 years, and then the interesting part of the story is what you really want to know is I sold my soul to the devil, so to speak. And I was the season 9 winner of Hell's Kitchen with Gordon Ramsay. That led to many opportunities for me. I was the executive chef of BLT Steak around the country. I ran BLT Steak in Manhattan, California. I opened BLT Prime in Doral back in Florida. I did a summer in the Hamptons. I ran BLT Prime in Gramercy. I ran our burger concept when I was out in California as well. And after that, I kind of, when I wanted to come back home, I ended up working for a couple of other places. Most recently now, I am with Sharfie Holdings, which is a subsidiary into Rendezvous F&B, which would be up in Jensen Beach. So I have Circa 69. We just opened a sub shop. We have an ice cream shop. We have a coffee shop. So we have JavaScript. We have Joe and Benny's, our ice cream shop. We have our Burrito Heaven concept. And that's kind of where I've been putting my focus right now recently.
Wow. Busy
boy.
Busy.
A lot of miles.
Yeah.
A lot of miles.
So, because I want to know, so of course, sadly, you're all going to have to listen, but how did that happen? How did you get on to?
So when I was in college, I tried to get on an earlier season, and I made it all the way to the end. I was one of the 30 people left, and they just didn't pick me. My mom was super bummed about it. She's like, "Oh, I wish you would have got on." My mom passes.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
My mom passes, and then probably like a year later, I'm at work, and one of the cooks that I'm with is like, "Hey, they're doing open auditions for Hell's Kitchen down at FAU." And I'm like, "Oh, that's great. I almost made it on there." And he's like, "Hey, you should go do it again." I'm like, "Nope."
No,
And they're like, "Well," he's like, "Well, why?" And I'm like, "Well, because I don't want to do a 30-page written application again." And he's like, "Oh, well," he's like, "Well, I'm going to go do it." I'm like, "I'll tell you what, I'll go with you for moral support." I wake up the next morning, I'm driving down to Miami. I'm calling. He doesn't answer. Finally answers, I'm down in Miami. He got too banged up the night before, so he's not going down. And I'm like, I'm like, well, screw this, I'm going to leave. One of the casting ladies who casted me before was like, are you coming to do it again? And I'm like, no, I don't want to do the application. And she's like, you don't got to do the application.
I love it.
She's like, come back tomorrow, do your video again, and we'll go. And I'm like, all right, so we'll do that. So I then go to the first part of casting. So you're out in California. They give you a bunch of specific rules. You're in a hotel. Everyone's in this hotel for the same exact reason. You can't tell anybody why you're there. You can't tell anybody why you're there. You can't leave the property. And then you do interviews and, it's a lot of mental tests. It's not just, well, are you this person? Because that's another big part of this thing. But they want to make sure you can follow directions. Because if you can't listen to what they're telling you to do, how are they going to keep you in line, so to speak, when you're actually filming? So and then also I had to take a full psychological test, which I was like, can I please have the results of this? Because I guarantee you I'm batshit.
Harry, we wouldn't make the cut.
I just said I'm
Paul
out.
snuck under the wire.
Yeah,
Paul's in. I'm out.
So and then you do like basic medical tests. They do some blood work on you because if you're living in a communal area, like they have to make sure. And then they do like a full background check. Like level 4 CIA stuff, because now
they don't want to put you on the show and find out.
They want to know what they're dealing with. So like, if you got arrested for beating puppies, maybe you're not a good fit. I don't want to, it's stuff like that. Or is something going to come out of the woodwork? Is someone going to be like, oh, that's my baby daddy or something? So I fly back home, and then every so often they keep sending you like little homework assignments. Oh, if you were going to go on the show, what would be your dish? If you were going to go, would you be able to take off this amount of work? Would you be able to do this? Would you have, stuff like that. And then they called me back to do a face interview with more of the producers and stuff like that. It's a lot of interviews. But the reason why is because I was fortunate when I lived in California. One of the production people I became very good friends with, he was my football buddy on Sundays. Side note, football in California, the only good thing about it is that it starts at 10 a.m. and
Yes.
it's
Done early.
It's great. So I kept asking about the process, and he's like, well, they do it to make sure that you're this person.
You're
Because
not
if
putting on a facade.
If you think about it, I can, my whole shtick, so to speak, is I am probably the most cocky, arrogant person you've ever met in your entire life. That's how I am. That's who I am. So you keep doing these interviews to make sure that you're this person, because nothing is worse than if I'm supposed to be this big personality, and then as soon as the camera hits me, I'm like, ooh. So then finally they're like, okay, you are in the top 20. We're going to fly you out. Pack your bags. You may go, you may not go. We don't know. I'm like, oh, okay. Pack my stuff. I'm in the hotel. They go, you'll know the day before if you're going. Okay. Sit in the room. Phone picks up. Hey, you're going. And I'm like, all right. They grab my stuff. You go. And then you film.
Wow. So it to me, being the guy who's always looking for the thread, it sounds like your mom was involved, where this guy's like, you come down with me. I'm not doing it. I don't want to fill out. And lo and behold, they see you. This woman sees you and is like, don't worry, Paul, I got you.
It was a combination of that, and then also because, selfishly, I think it'd be hilarious that he didn't go and I got on.
And won.
Well,
does he still talk to you?
Yeah, I talk to him all the time. So like I was saying before, though, I was working at the Ritz-Carlton, right? So when I was working there, I took FEMA, I had to take a leave of absence, right? I told them, though, I'm like, look, if I come back and I say I need more time off, that means I made it really far and I have to go back and film, knowing that I filmed the whole thing. Because you can't tell anybody.
Right, okay.
Right? So I come back. So I go, I do the show, I win. It doesn't air for a year. So
you can't tell anyone
can't tell anybody. So it gets to the point where like, I think like 6 months into it, I totally forgot I did it. Because I'm just back at work. I'm doing my
life goes on.
Then all of a sudden, I get an email and they're like, "Hey, it's about to air," and I was like, "Oh wait, oh shit, I won." So I'm at work, and everyone's like, "Oh, you're on the show. This is great. This is great." And then, obviously, I won, so I have to quit. So I give my chefs a 3-week notice. I'm like, I'm giving you guys 3-week notice. I'm leaving. And like, well, where are you going? I'm like, I'm pursuing other opportunities. They're like, okay. 2 days later, they come to me and they're like, well, we went to HR and you didn't do a transfer for anything, or you didn't like try to like another property. And I'm like, no. And they're like, well, what's this other opportunity? And I'm like, are you two that stupid?
Hello.
I'm like, I looked at the both of them.
McFly.
And I'm like, you know I'm on TV, right? Yeah. You know I did the show, right? Yeah. I'm quitting. I'm pursuing another opportunity. Oh!
Dawn breaks over Marblehead.
I'm like, yeah.
Oh my!
And they're like,
gosh.
really? I go, yeah.
Good for you. That is incredible.
That was funny.
So now, you couldn't even tell your family?
My brother and my sister knew, because my brother was there when it filmed, and my sister was there, but she had to leave.
Got it.
But I would say the secret kind of got out. Both my brothers knew. My sister knew. I think one drunk night I told one of my buddies.
Those drunk nights.
Oh, he got me good though. I'm not gonna lie, he got me good. This was the Coors Light Jaeger days. Like it was.
Oh.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah. Jaeger.
Ugh. And that was it. But I mean, as you watch the show and you kind of piece together my actions of what I was doing, everyone kind of had an idea, especially when I was like, I'm quitting my job.
Yeah.
They kind of like it was like don't ask, don't tell. Like we all know, I'm not gonna say nothing.
We're not allowed to say.
We're not gonna say anything. It is what it is. But no, it was great, and I am very, very appreciative that it happened to me. I'm glad I seized that opportunity. I'm glad it worked out for me. You know, because I've seen other winners that it didn't work out for them.
Right.
Like it's, you know.
Well, I really equate anything like that, not that I've ever done anything like, but it's like winning the lottery. And how many people win the lottery and end up being completely broke? But you won the lottery and you took advantage of it. You traveled all over.
And I'll never win the actual lottery.
My
luck is done. One and done. I'm not going to win the other one. No.
There was a woman in New Jersey who won 3 times. Yeah, no, that's not. That's
I'm
probably.
I'm not that lucky.
No one's sitting around the stable.
My luck now is like, if I get pulled over, I get a warning. I'm like, oh, I lucked out. Like that's my luck now. Like there's no like, I'm not getting the scratcher and getting the 20 grand. It ain't happening.
No. Now, I just have to know, is that all an act by Gordon, or is he really that big of a tool?
So,
and I say tool in the nicest way, Gordon.
Being a chef was a profession in Europe before whatever was a profession in the United States.
Okay.
The way that kitchens and classical kitchens were designed is based off the military. It's a brigade system, just like in the military. So in classic kitchens, back when it first started, there was the big chef, his name was Escoffier. He was like, okay, you're the sauce guy, you make sauces, that's all you do. You cut the fish, that's what you do. You cook the fish, that's what you do. Everything's militant, everything's yes chef, I'm the general, these are my troops.
Okay.
Then you come to America. And some of that kind of mixes into our world. But then also, we live in the United States, and everyone has an opinion and feelings and HR. So you take his personality, and then you take everyone in, and then you take our work ethic and our ideas of that we have a say in things, and that's why his show is successful. And that's why it works. So is he a tool? No. Is he that way? Abso-fucking-lutely.
Okay.
Because in the US, big name restaurants, Thomas Keller, Thomas Keller, Alinea in Chicago, all those places. if those chefs were to lose their jobs, they just lose their job, right? They lose their job. In Europe, with Michelin, that's their life. It's their restaurants. It's their businesses. So if they fail, they lose their house, their wife, their kids, their business.
It's
so if there's that much on the line, you're going to be a lot more diligent. Just like here, if you own your own business, you're going to run it to make sure it's successful. And you're going to do what you have to do to make it successful. And that's his mentality. But also, the one thing that I will say that I learned on that show from him, it's not about cooking. It's about balls and about standards. Do you have the balls to stop everything in your restaurant? Completely fuck it up because something's not right. And you're going to send it back and make sure it's right. Or are you going to be the chef that says it's good enough?
Okay.
If good enough is good for you, you're not for him. And that is the ultimate reason why people on that show and his personality make it entertaining, because you have this person that has this standard, and then you have this person that's got this standard. Mm-hmm. And they think that this standard is just as good as this standard.
Gotcha. So did you have any heated exchanges with him, or growing up in the kitchen with your dad, were you kind of like, this is business as usual?
I'm the youngest of four, so I've been getting my ass kicked my entire life. Like, yes, chef, I'm an asshole. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, here you go. It doesn't bother me.
Okay.
Like, it's not personal. It's business.
So you're Teflon.
Yeah, like it is what it is. I can tell you I got a funny story about when I was working in Miami. So the first time I was working in the French restaurant was this French chef. His name was Philippe. Had a very thick French accent. He keeps going to me. He's like, "Hey, fire the asparagus, asparagus, asparagus." And I'm like, I don't have any duck, chef. He goes, "What are you, a smart ass?" I'm like, "No, I don't have any duck." And the guy next to me is like, "Asparagus." And I was like, "Oh, here you go." Yeah.
Asparagus.
Asparagus.
Are you making fun of me?
I'm like, I don't have any duck. He's like, "Dude, asshole." He's like, "Asparagus." I'm like, "Oh, here." Like, there you go. So there's funny. I got a million of those stories.
But a lot of times in Europe, you'll have the guys, and they're very soft-spoken, but they come unglued. They expect you to do it that way, and when you don't, then they turn red and they just come unglued, and then they're just like this, and they're ready to kill you.
Because it's about respect.
Yeah, well,
it's what it comes down to. Respect my time. If I take the time to show you exactly how I want it done.
That's exactly.
And then if you don't try at least to get it there, I'm going to lose my mind.
Gotcha.
Because I'm like that. I think a lot of people, especially not except for teachers. Teachers have the patience of saints. But they do, because they have to.
Yes, they do.
But I think pretty much in any sort of business like that, if your supervisor, boss, owner takes their time to show you exactly how to do it, and you don't even try to replicate it, and you're like, "Oh, well, thank you very much, but I'm going to do it this way." No, it doesn't work. And it especially doesn't work in kitchens, because the number one thing is consistency. It's as mundane as it sounds. The most successful restaurants are the most boring restaurants because they're the most consistent. And that's what it is. I forgot who said this. It was a chef. When you're going for Michelin stars, your first star is your creativity. Your second star is your systems, and then your third star is consistency. When you can get to consistency in a 3-star restaurant at 3 stars, it's like a watch. It just runs, and there's no more no more creativity. It's no more the spark that got you to where you wanted to get to 3 is what kills you at 3, because it's all the same. You can't change. It doesn't evolve. It's just there.
So then you have to find a new venture.
And then they go to do the next one.
I gotcha. That's well, and just being a civilian, you refer people to, like you say, oh, this restaurant had the best meal, and you bring them out and you get a horrible meal, and it's just such a, sometimes I'll say, look, I don't want to jinx it, but I've been there 3 times and it's really good. So yeah, that consistency is huge. And boring people like me, when I go to your restaurant and I have something that's incredible, every time I go to that restaurant, I order the same thing, so I won't be disappointed.
Exactly.
Oh, that's now. When you started on the show, how many chefs were there?
18.
18. And at what point, like, did you feel when there were 18 people, I'm going to whip everyone's ass and win this?
I knew the second day.
Did you? That's what I was looking for. I just got goosebumps.
I knew the second day it was going to be me and the guy Will I went up against.
That's awesome.
And I looked at him and he looked at me and we're like...
he knew it too.
We knew it. It was... You can edit as much as you want. We knew. Like, it wasn't...
It was clear.
It wasn't even close. The only thing... Because remember, it's a show.
Right.
So...
It has to be entertaining.
You have to be entertaining. Mm-hmm. You have to either be entertaining or infallible. Because you don't know why he lets you go. You don't. So, and there's a lot of standards and practices in that. Contracts. So many contracts that you have to sign. So when I was on the show, and we did a challenge, right? And Gordon would come out and be like, all right, this is the challenge, ready, set, go. Then cameras would stop. Here comes out 2 lawyers. And they explain to you in detail exactly what the challenge is and what you have to do, because there cannot be any sort of gray area that I can sue because I got kicked off because this wasn't explained to me correctly.
Cheapers.
Yeah. So it's, and then as you're reading through the contract before you go on and you sign it, it basically says Gordon has final say of who leaves, but ultimately it's whatever the production company is. Which means if you're very boring, quiet, and then you mess up once, that's your excuse to get rid of you. If that's what they want. That's how the show goes. So like on my season, Elise, who is basically Satan in a body, that's why she stayed so long. Was she a very strong cook? Absolutely not. But was she drama? Was she energy? Was she a villain? Yes. Why did she stay so long? Because if you got rid of her early, how boring would the show be?
So they need that train wreck.
You need something
that
keeps it all kind of entertaining.
So people keep watching.
Exactly.
I love that. That's always been my suspicion, but
but it is off of merit. So if she messes up a lot, they'd have no choice but to let her go. But if they keep voting, a lot of the times they would vote up her on my season was because she's just a raging asshole. So
do you guys send Christmas cards?
No. Actually, none of us talked to her. I mean, I talked to a lot of people on my season. I talked to Will. I talked to the girl Jen. I talked to Jen. I talked to Tommy. Whoever. I spent Steven was the first guy that got eliminated. He had a business up in Montauk when I lived in New York. I'd go see him all the time. We hang out. But there's some I don't talk to.
And that's the top of the list.
I don't talk to her. I don't talk to Brendan. I did, but I was very nice and I sent him a gift.
Oh.
It was a good one.
You can't say it.
No, I can say it. So, on the show, in the beginning, me and Brendan, we didn't see eye to eye. We'll call it that. We didn't see eye to eye.
Embarrassing.
Okay, all right, fine.
He can't fucking cook. He can't get the fucking risotto out.
And you're not allowed to actually hit people. It's actually really funny. In the contract, there's a clause. It's called, there's no exchanging of bodily fluids, which means you can't fight, fornicate, or spit on each other. So after the show, him and one of the girls on the show were dating. And I talked to her. I was talking to her, and I was like, I gotta ask you. I'm like, is he like, how did he take it when he found out I won? And he's like, oh, he was pissed. Like, he was pissed. And I'm like, oh, what's your address? So I'm like, I'm gonna do this, and I go, you need to be aware of this because I think it's funny. You're gonna think it's funny. He's not gonna think it's funny. So on the show, he kept calling me Meatball. So I sent him a box of meatballs.
Nice.
And a note, and I said, hey, Brendan, I heard you were very upset. I won the show. I hope this box of meatballs makes it better. Heart Paul. And I call her up. I'm like, was your package delivered? And she's like, yeah. She goes, 1, you're an asshole. And 2, this is the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Oh my God, I love it. Good for you. Good for you. I take it he probably didn't eat the meatballs.
I'd assume not. That was funny.
Now, so we get to the point that you win, and now it's aired. What happened in your life once it was aired that you were the winner?
So I immediately went to New York. I had to get situated up there. For the first, I'd say probably the first month was just a lot of like appearances at stuff. Like, I'd be at the restaurant during the day, not really working service. And then at night, I'd have to go to another restaurant and walk the dining room, one of the other restaurants in the BLT group, or I would go to an offsite event, or they would send me to, I won in September 2012. So October is Food and Wine Festival. I did whatever Food and Wine Festivals events they had in New York, stuff like that. And then after it kind of settled down, I was very, very fortunate in this aspect, because up to that time, the 8 other winners, none of them stayed longer than a year, and half of them didn't even make it a year. So, and I was curious about that. And, on the show, it's you win this salary, it's $250,000 salary, and you're the head chef of this restaurant, right? Okay. If any idiot thinks that if I want a show that someone's going to hand me an $18 million a year restaurant to run and operate, I got oceanfront property in Arizona. So I think that a lot of them in the beginning had this very unrealistic expectation.
Okay.
When I won, my expectation was, I'm going to milk this for all it's worth and try to figure out a better situation for me to go back to Florida, because in my mind, I was going to be in New York for a year. That was my mindset. After I won, and I was in the restaurant, my mentor, Cliff, he understood me because Cliff also did reality TV. Cliff was on Top Chef.
Okay.
Clifford Crooks. And Cliff, to this day, is the only person that I believe to ever be kicked off of Top Chef. Because if you watch his season, he is a very rambunctious gentleman, and he thought it'd be funny. There's another guy in the show. He had this big poofy hair. They were going to shave his head. It was going to be funny. He didn't find it funny.
Wow.
So he got kicked off. So Cliff understood the media part of it. Cliff also understood how big someone's ego could get from this. So he basically told me, he told me, this is what the plan is. He goes, you're going to be on my hip for 6 months. You're going to work when I work. You're going to be off when I'm off. I'm going to show you every single facet of how to run a successful restaurant in Manhattan. He goes, after 6 months, I'm going to give you 2 months. You're going to kind of run the show. We're going to see how it is. He goes, either you're going to get it, and you get it, or if you don't, or if I don't think you're going to get it, he goes, your other 6 months, you'll be the PR stunt. You'll go do all the things, blah, blah, blah. In a year, we're done. And I went, and he goes, what do you want to do? And I said, I want to run restaurants. So he took me on his hip. I shadowed him for 6 months. He brings in another good chef named Braden. Braden is also mentoring me at the time, and they're just teaching me how to run the restaurants, be successful, and also open up my mind epicuriously. That's a big fancy chefy word right there.
Yeah, I like that.
So again, growing up in Florida, we don't have seasons. We have hot, rain, and hot. New York has seasons. Up north has seasons. So there's farmers markets that are actually farmers markets with these farms from Pennsylvania, from Jersey, from upstate New York, from the mountains that bring all these amazing products that I've never seen in my life. Black raspberries, Jersey tomatoes, all these things. So he's teaching me to go to the market in the morning, grab stuff, bring it to the restaurant. We use it for features. We use it for specials, stuff like that. But then also this is how you watch food costs. This is your labor cost. This is this. This is that. Where are you maximizing? How to order correctly? How to make sure you're keeping as much money in the bank and not on the shelf. Things like that. And I picked it up. I picked it up very quickly. So after probably 11 months in, they were, Cliff was like, Cliff gave me the sign of approval. My prayer, was good. And then, exactly. He's like, I blessed him. He's good. So the idea was supposed to be I was going to take over BLT Prime and Gramercy. That was the idea. But it didn't happen because something happened out in California. And they're like, we had restaurants out in California. It wasn't working. Chef wasn't working. They needed someone out there. So they went to me and they're like, look, we have this opportunity for you, but it's out in California. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't really know about this because I don't really want to live out in the West Coast. So I thought about it. I'm like, you know what? It's worth it. Let's take, I'm growing with the company. Let's take the opportunities that are coming to me. And they obviously trust me enough to be 2,000 miles away from them, which I think is what they really needed. So I was like, okay, I'll go out to California. I'm out in California. I learned a whole different aspect of the business out there because in California, labor's different, people are different, the staffing's different. It's all different. Oddly, again, because I'm an asshole. We have pre-shift meal. Like you sit down, you have pre-shift, you have family meal, right? Well, I remember the first week I'm there, I'm just sitting and I'm listening to everybody. And everyone's talking and why they're in California. And this is the reason why I don't like California. I went on this audition. I did this. I'm podcasting, influencer, this, blah, 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 whatever it is. And I'm like, I'm just listening. And then the next week, we have a pre-shift meeting. I'm like, getting to know everybody. I'm like, hey, what do you do? He goes, oh, well, I'm like, what do you do? He's like, oh, I'm an actor. I'm like, okay. I'm like, what do you do? I'm like, she's like, oh, I'm getting into fashion and I'm a designer. Great. What do you do? Oh, I'm getting into, I don't know, tech. I'm gonna build video games. I'm like, all right. I go, that's not what you guys are. They're like, what? I go, you're a server, you're a busser, you're a bartender. I go, until you guys start getting money from those other things, this is what you do. And I go, also, how much does it piss you off that a fat kid from Florida has got more IMDb credit than all of you combined? Yeah.
Wow. How did that go over?
They were like, oh, he's an East Coast guy. And I'm like, yes, I am.
Wow. It's like the scene in the 300 when he says, what's your profession? Oh, I'm a potter. What's your profession? I'm a landscaper. And he turns around to his guys. So you were that guy that you were there for creating.
Because people that don't put their all into their job and they're looking for the next best thing is not best for the business. And this is a big struggle that a lot of chefs, managers have, especially in the beginning of their career, and especially in the front of the house. It's a big thing in the front, not so much in the back. Because the back, we all have egos and we all want our titles and stuff. But in the front, it's people. You're dealing with people, your servers are people, and they're all people. So when you are first going in the front running the restaurant, and let's say your servers aren't making enough money, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna cut a server or two off the schedule. We'll schedule less so they can make more money. Well, what happens when service goes bad? Your decisions that you make are not dictated off of people. It's dictated off the business, and you're hoping the decisions you make that are better for the business is better for the staff. Sometimes people don't see it that way, because ultimately, and this, I mean, my argument to everyone is like, oh, chef, we're not making money. I go, oh, okay. I go, I'll keep you all scheduled, but then we're not going to have a restaurant to go to. So which one do you guys want? Want to make less money or not have a job? Because that's the truth. Like in this day and age, in these restaurants, margins are beyond slim. They were slim before, they're almost non-existent anymore. There's so many things now that we as restaurateurs and hospitality have to fight. Pricing, fuel, staffing, quality of staffing, just getting product in, anything. It's all more. And we as the businesses are trying to not pass it off. We're trying as hard as we can. And it never, but essentially, eventually it has to happen. And then there's the uproar.
Right.
And it sucks. So we all try to do everyone's trying to do their best to kind of keep it where it's got to be. But, I feel like in certain aspects, people all want to live, they all want to have pricing like it was in the 90s, but they want to live in 2025.
Right.
Or 2026.
Everyone wants to go to heaven, but no one wants to die.
Exactly.
Yeah, but the experience that you were born into a chef world.
I was.
Was that just always your passion? You were not like, oh, I'm going to be...
I tried to have a real job one time.
Real job? It sounds like a real job to me. But
So one time. So my entire life, I've always worked in food service somehow. My first job was Burger King. Then I worked at a grocery store. Then I worked at the local pizzeria. And then when I was in college, because my classes were like from 1 o'clock to 7 o'clock, so it was like odd hours. I really couldn't have like a restaurant job. I couldn't have so I had to do something either early or later on the weekends. So me and my college roommate Jeremy were at the Aventura Mall. We just got back from a concert the night before. I broke my glasses. I had to get them fixed. We walked by Journey's, the shoe store. I don't remember why. And we were just talking about the concert. And the manager's like, oh, I wanted to go to that concert, but I didn't go. And I was like, oh, you missed a great show, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, do you guys want jobs? I'm like, I've never done this before. She's like, it's okay. You just sit here. I'll show you how to use the register. I'm like, all right. I did it for a week. I quit.
Yeah.
Like, this is so funny to me. The one thing I couldn't wrap my head around was I have to pay for lunch. It was like I was like, I can't wrap my head around this. Like, I have to go spend money to have, like, no. I'm like, this is not my world.
That's too funny.
Plus, I'm a lot better at it, but when I was younger, I didn't really like people. I wasn't very hospitable, so to speak, which I feel like I'm better at it, but I mean, I still have the chef in me, which is very low tolerance for bullshit.
Okay. All right. So you're where you belong.
I am where I belong.
And I'm amazed how much experience that you've packed into your life, that all of the things that I've never thought of because I've never owned, nor would I ever want to own a restaurant. But even just dealing with all of the human beings. And I look at restaurants and just here at Harry's, and we'll have one Sunday morning for no reason at all, and the place is packed and you can't get in the door. And the next Sunday, the place is empty. And how, if you don't have the staff there, my first experience, I come in and the place is packed and there's only 3 servers. I'm not coming back.
Correct.
So you have to think of, when you're in the driver's seat, you have to think of all of that.
Well, there's metrics to it. There's, you look at, especially when you, like Harry's that has so much history, you can look back year to date, years and years, and look at your influxes and things of that, but you can also look at what your last 6 weeks were, things that are going on, if it's rainy season, right? So usually how it is in Florida is when it's raining, the first day it rains, no one goes out. The second day it rains, some people stay in. Day 3, it can be a hurricane outside, everyone's coming out. It doesn't matter. And it's also the same thing like in the summertime. When there's a little break in the weather, everyone wants to go out. When it's consistently staying at 100, they're not coming out until about 5:30, 6 o'clock, or they're going to come really, really early for breakfast. Your lunches, especially if you're an outdoor area, are going to be very hit or miss, very slim or miss. Again, it depends on the location. If you're, if you have built-in clientele, like a beach or being on the water, it's a whole different animal. Like that, in turn, to me, builds, in my mind, if you're on the water, 20% of your business is always going to stay up because of that, because people want to sit on the water. So if you're here and it's the middle of the summer, his breakfast, great, it's early. The middle of the day is going to be like, tumbleweeds going through the dining room. And then all of a sudden at like 5:45, 6 o'clock, the sun's going down. It's going to be an onslaught. You fill up and you're done.
Yeah. So now in 2026, with all of these different places that you're in charge of, how do you spend your time? Like, how much time do you give to each place, and how are you able to manage that?
So I'm very fortunate in the fact that the majority of the restaurants, other than the one down south, so Circa 69, Burrito Heaven, JavaScript, Subs and Suds, and Joe and Benny's, they're all in one area.
Okay.
So I walk to each of them. It's not an issue or a problem. And since the Buccaneer Resort Marina down at Palm Beach Shores is, I'm only open for dinner, my day is north, hang out, get them situated. I head back south to the Buck. I watch service there, and then I can go home. I have a good structured team. I have team in place to keep the vision going and the standards where they're at. But I'm always on my phone. My wife hates it when I'm off. She doesn't understand. She's gotten a lot better at it, but I mean, it's annoying. Like, I get it. The building's on fire. Call me. You can't find the soap. Look harder. The one thing that gets me though is always the phone call, and it's always like on Sunday. I'm off Sundays, and usually Sundays and Mondays. It's always on one of those days, and I'll get the phone call, and it always starts with, "I don't want to bother you, but," and then it's something that's like very easy and manageable. But then the funny part is like when something really serious happens, no one calls you.
They don't want to upset you, right?
No, that's the thing that cracks me up. It's like I can't find the paper towels. You're going to call me. The oven's on fire.
Yeah. And they're not going to bother you.
No, and then at the end of the night, it's like, oh, hey, chef, by the way, the breaker blew. The oven was on fire. Fire department came. Don't worry, it's okay. We didn't trip the Ansel, thank God. But we don't have an oven.
And I still can't find the paper towels.
Yep.
P.S. Still can't find those paper towels.
So Seth is going to post all of your places, and my personal goal is I'm going to go to every single one just to witness it because I'm really excited.
Awesome.
I think that is just super cool. And I love the fact that you did take your lottery win and you turned it into your own success. I just think that's you knew.
I had a realistic expectation.
Right.
So when I won, I knew that I'd have notoriety, which is good, but it can also be bad. Depends. So going back to the show part, another thing that a lot of people that have done the show will say is, I'm portrayed in this light and this is not who I am. And I call bullshit. Because everything that is shown, you did. You said, you did it all. It may be out of order, but you still did it.
Yeah.
So, yes, I understand. They can edit it to make you look a certain way, but you still did it. So, like, if you watch the show, which is, side note, the most weirdest thing in the world is to watch yourself on TV doing that. It's super weird. To this day, I've only watched the whole season once.
Okay.
I watched it with my family, and I have never watched it again when it aired. Never. But, you know, things I said, there's things I did, and I take ownership of it, and they portrayed me how I am. Now, I mean, if you go through the, you know, you can go through the, you know, the internet and, you know, what all that stuff. Like, I'm not very well liked by the Hell's Kitchen people.
Really?
They think I'm an arrogant asshole. They think I'm one of the worst winners that ever won. Yeah. And that's a whole...
That's because they're jealous of you.
But that's a whole other part of this, is the notoriety, and people think they know you.
Yep.
Because of what they've seen.
But they don't know you. So, and then sometimes people know you better than you know you, and then it's a little weird. I've had that. I've had both spectrums. I've had the most assholish things ever happen to me. One guy in New York walked up to me and said, "I bet you your mother's not dead."
What?
Wow.
I've had that. And I've also had super sweet, like, young girls come in that bring me handwritten notes about how great their little baby steak was that they had at the restaurant. So you get it on both ends.
Right.
But if you're the type, and it also depends on your personality. Like you said earlier, I'm Teflon. Well, there's other people that fight. So if you go through the boards and you read what everyone says and you start responding...
You can't.
Some people, I don't.
You're not going down the rabbit hole.
No. I mean, every once in a while, I'll like... That's not true. I'm a little petty. I'm not going to lie. So, I'm a little petty. So, like, when somebody will... So, the biggest thing with me is everyone thinks I shouldn't have won my season and the other guy should have won. That's the ongoing thing for the last 15, 16 years, whatever it is. So every time, and then it's all like cyclical or whatever. I can't say the word. So every so often, I'll get more like ramps of people with Hell's Kitchen stuff because it's airing somewhere. So like if it's airing in like Europe or it's airing in Brazil or so, all of a sudden like my face, I'll get like weird, like I'll get messages and I'm like, oh, this is where it's airing, and it's always the same thing. So Will should have won, Paul should have lost. So every time someone posts this in like the Hell's Kitchen fan web things and I get a notification of it, I always just like it.
No matter what it is.
I know. Oh, Will should have won. I like this. And then I'll write like, I agree.
But I won.
I don't say anything. I just say I agree.
Good for you.
I think a lot of people take what I did on the show as like I'm an asshole. I just think it's funny. Like, I just think it's like, it's funny. The fact that people are so passionate about this is great, but like, I find it funny that you're going to judge people off of this. Also, the other thing I find funny is people that still say, oh, he's an asshole. I'm like, you're judging me off of what I said 15 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm like, can I look? I'm like, by your logic, let me go on your Instagram and look at your stuff from 15 years ago and be like, oh, are you still a hoochie mama who's shaking your ass on you know what I mean? Like, I was a kid. I was 28 years old. And I was arrogant and cocky, and I still am. But it's what I was. Like, I just find it funny. And then when they come and meet me, they're like, you're not this person. I'm like, yeah, no doy. Like, it's a show.
Right.
Like, did I ham it up for the cameras? Yeah. Was I well aware if I didn't ham it up, I would have not made the show probably? Yes. Just like when I was on the show, those little confessionals. The one-on-one camera thing? Yeah. I'm going to tell you about those things.
Those make me crazy.
The first time we had to do them, there's 18 of us, so it takes a long time, right? And when I did mine, I learned very quickly, if you don't give them something, they don't let you out of the room.
Oh.
So if you go in there and you're like, well, gosh darn it, we gave it our best shot and we just didn't make it this time, but I guarantee you, you're going to sit in that room for 3 hours. So
until
now,
they extract
something. They need something. So you are in the highest stress situation you can possibly think of. You have no your own home comforts. Like, you're in a dorm. You are sharing rooms with a bunch of people. You're on a soundstage sweating your balls off because it's 1,000 degrees down there. And then all of a sudden they throw you in this ice cold air conditioned room. And all you want to do is eat some junk food because that's what they give you, like a grocery list. Look, I'm not gonna lie to you. Here's the dirty secret about chefs: we all eat junk food because we don't want to cook. It's the goddamn truth.
Yep.
Like, I think in that phase in my life, I was all about like pepperoni hot pockets, like simple shit. So I'm sitting there and I'm thinking to myself, I go, if all I want to do right now is I want to get done with this, take a shower, eat a hot pocket, and try to get some sleep because I don't know if I'm ever gonna sleep. And I'm gonna give him something. Because if you don't give him anything,
you're going to be in the room.
I'm in the room. So after like day 2, I'm like, man, fuck this. So I would go in. So they'd be like, oh, how do you feel? And I'm like, and that's why, like, if you watch my season, like, I say some really outlandish stuff because I didn't want to be in the room longer than like 3 minutes. Like, it was funny is when I did my confessionals, all of them would hear me.
So okay.
No, because I'm that loud. So like, I'd be like, they're like, yeah, well, how do you feel? I'm like, how do I feel? This is not my proudest moment, but on the show, they asked me a question and they said, what was it like? Well, how did you feel when Gordon kicked you out of the kitchen? And I said, it felt like Gordon took out his and slapped it across my face. Now, if you watch the first, like when you watch it first on Fox, it's edited. So all you see is me going, bop, 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 bop. It's all bleeped out, right? Then you watch the unedited version. So people watch that. And then I started getting messages and they're like, in what world did you think that it was a smart idea to say this? And I was like, that's how I felt. I don't know what to tell you. But not my proudest moment, but
Gordon had to love that too.
I think it's fun. I think it's funny.
He's like, that guy's going to win.
Like, it's funny. Like,
it's funny.
It is. It's funny. Like, what else? What am I supposed to say? I feel devastated. I feel like I should have tried harder.
But that's
like,
kitchen talk.
I'm like, this is what it is. I don't care what anyone says. The most competitive people in the world are fucking chefs. We all are. And we all judge each other. Like, you go to anyone, I'll invite people into my restaurant and they'll be like, oh, this is great. I guarantee you on the drive home, they're talking shit about it to their wife. Just like I'm doing. It's what we do.
And I think right at the beginning, you really clarified it, that they gave you so much psychological work. They knew exactly who Paul was.
Oh, yeah.
Or who they could expect on camera. And they knew the bitch was going to be the bitch.
But that's the formula.
Right. So they have... So you did exactly what they wanted you to do. You lived up to who you are.
When you get eliminated, which I wouldn't know this because I won. But when you get eliminated or when you end, you sit so everyone sits with a psychiatrist after because of PTSD.
Yep. Right.
Yep.
So when I won, after I won, they're like, you have to go talk to the psychiatrist. And I'm like, all right. So they sit me down and I'm in the room. It's the psychiatrist and like the casting person, whoever, like my handler, because we had handlers. That's how the hell it was. So I'm sitting in the room and the psychiatrist is like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. And she's like, well, you just something dramatic just happened in your life. And I go, did it? And she's like, well, yeah. You won. And I go, yeah, I know.
I was there.
She's like, well, this is I'm like, it's not dramatic. She's like, what do you mean? I'm like, I knew I was going to win. Like, I came here to win. This would be more of a conversation if I lost. Like, I don't understand. She's like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm perfectly fine. Like, I am aware. I came here. I had a conclusion. I was either going to kick someone's ass or get my ass kicked. I kicked someone's ass. I won. Now I'm going to go home.
Next chapter.
I'm like, and she's like, I think the psychiatrist was like, I got to call another one because I think he's a psychopath. She's probably like, I've done this for 8 other winners and he's the first one that's ever done this. I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's an amazing experience when you win it, but to be honest with you, like, I won it alone. So my big excitement was when it aired and I won. Because
you could share.
Because now it's everyone. So it's all my family. It's all these people. It's all my friends. It's everyone that supported me to know that at the end, I pull it out. And that is when they probably should have had the psychiatrist talk to me. But it's very interesting how they how they do the shows. It's very interesting, like you were saying before, like Elise was going to be who she was, I am who I am. But that's the formula. So that's what the tests are for. Because they figure out, oh, he's a type A. A's get along with B, but they don't get along with D. So if we have this many A's, I need a D, we need a C to balance. It's a whole thing.
It's profiling.
It's a whole thing that I will never understand because I flip burgers for a living. But it works.
Yeah.
But, you were saying before earlier about like managing people. But that's also kind of what I have to do is when you manage, you can't manage everyone the same. You have to hold everyone the same standard, but you can't manage them the same. So, for example, if the 3 of us are working together, right? I can talk to you like the way we're talking. And I can tell you, hey, fuckface, go fix this. Or hey, numbnuts, go grab that. I can't do that to a young girl. You can't do that to a young kid. You can't do that to somebody who's not going to respond that way. I always ask this question to every chef, manager, GM. I ask them, what is your job? In the simplest of terms, what is your job? And they give me some like answer. I'm supposed to do this, this, and this. And I go, no. Your job and my job is to take a group of people and have them perform a task at a standard that we have set repetitively. That is your job.
I like that.
However you get to that result, it makes you an effective manager. Now, I'm not telling you to change your standard because the standard's the standard, we set it. But if you have to change your approach, then you have to. You can't, we no longer live on these mountains of it's my way or the highway. Because guess what? You're going to be a lonely man now. COVID killed the restaurant industry. It did. It killed the staffing. It killed the education of it. Every culinary school in Florida is closed. There's one left.
Really?
Every culinary school in Florida is closed. There are culinary programs at other places. Johnson & Wales is closed. Johnson & Wales was the last one that closed. The one that was up here closed years and years ago. Cordon Bleus are all out of the United States. There's no more culinary education.
Wow.
There's not. And then you take the worker part of it. So you take, like the guys that just like to work in kitchens, right? Well, they didn't like work. They found something that worked for them. But let's be honest, a lot of people in my industry are lesser educated, or especially like dishwashers, things like that. It's lesser education or immigrants and stuff like that. Well, they just want to work. So they need jobs. COVID killed restaurants. So they all figured out, hey, I can go work for a landscaper or a plumber's assistant or an electrician assistant. I'm getting paid the same amount of money I was getting paid in the restaurant. I don't have to work in the hot heat like that. I get home at 4:00 in the afternoon. I can maybe work and teach myself a skill to better my life. So now that talent pool is gone for me in the restaurants. And then it's the same thing in the front of the house. The majority of servers, bartenders, younger, putting themselves through school. Well, when restaurants closed, they doubled up on school. So now that talent pool is out because they've finished their nursing degrees. They've finished their whatever college and all that other stuff. And now they're in their profession. So that took a big dip. So now there's not, and then also just the industry itself it's people don't want to work the hours. They don't have the passion for it anymore. And at the end of the day, I as a customer and you guys as a customer, we don't care. We want the service, the food. I want sausage. I don't even know how it's made. That's
Right.
what it is. But it's our job, my job and his job, and to make sure that it's still getting made. And that comes with, other things. Like, do we go to, I look at like the restaurant trends and the, that's coming up. And to me, I feel like the quick service and the quick service in small restaurant is what's going to thrive. Everything in the middle and above is going to die because everything goes up. Your rents go up unless you're very fortunate to own buildings. If you own the building, you don't hit this as much. But if you're paying rent, your rents go up, your labor goes up, your food costs go up, everything goes up. You have to combat it. If you can't combat it, you lose. But if you also raise your prices, you lose your clientele. So it's a very, very delicate balance. And then in turn, if people aren't coming out, because there's a very big movement now, the younger generations, they don't go out, they don't drink. They're more health conscious, or they're more alternative substance conscious. Gummies and that it's THC. So, and in Florida, we have not yet quite figured out if it's okay to have the THCs at the bars. Do they need to be separated out? Because like in New York, they're making weed bars, which are going to be just marijuana, nothing else. So are we going to follow suit in Florida with that? I don't know. But if they're not going out, they're not spending. The clientele that we do have that's coming out and spending is dying off. There's nothing that fits the gap. So what's going to trend to this younger clientele is going to be higher end quick service, which means, okay, you have to redo the model of the restaurant, which goes into like automation. Think about it. When you were younger and you went to McDonald's, it was cheap. There was someone there, and there was a lot of people back there, a lot of the counter, right? You can't go to McDonald's now by yourself for cheaper than $18. You can't.
Right.
You can't. Now, how do they do that? Is because they've also cut down on jobs. So they had to save money. How do you save money? Well, if I don't have to have these 2 employees and I don't have to pay the taxes on them and all the other stuff and this, and I can replace it in one shot with a $40,000 kiosk that does it for you, that's a business model. That's how I survive. Restaurants are doing the same thing too. There's a lot of restaurants now with QR code. There's no servers.
Right.
You QR code, you do it on your phone. A single person brings you your stuff. You get exactly what you want at the price point you need. I, as the business, have saved on labor, but hopefully enough people come that want that type of service. Because then the other end of the spectrum is, if I'm paying X, I deserve X.
Right. Yeah.
So it's price comparison.
And the other thing is 42% of the restaurants in this country are at break even.
Really?
Yeah, 42%. That's from National Restaurant News, and that tells you everything right there. You know.
It also takes about 5 years to start even turning a profit.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, just this conversation, things that I've never thought about, and it really explains why so many restaurants fail. Because I'm sure if I opened up a restaurant, I wouldn't have thought of about 80% of what you've shared today. It's just, you know.
The world now is price perception.
Right.
That's restaurants' price perception. And price perception is not the food. It's everything.
Yeah.
So, I'll give you an example. Are you a wine drinker?
Not really, no.
Okay. So, wife a wine drinker?
No, she doesn't drink at all. She's married to me.
Okay. So, wine is one of the things in restaurants that can be either really cheap or really, really expensive, right? Okay. So, if you go to like Outback Steakhouse and you have a $30 steak and you have a normal glass of wine, $12 glass of wine, and they put it on a basic white plate and you get a basic wine glass at that price point, you're happy, right? I'm getting my steak, I got my wine, okay? We're going to go to Smith & Lewinsky in South Beach on the water, right? And we're going to order a $110 filet, and we're going to order a $600 bottle of wine. And I bring you the same AP glass and the same plate. How do you feel?
Gypped.
Why? The wine's the exact same. The wine's in the glass. Wine goes in a glass, and it's a steak. But why?
The presentation.
It's price perception. It's because of where you're at.
Gotcha.
It's what I'm buying. If I'm buying a expensive steak, it should go on a nice piece of china. If I'm buying a expensive bottle of wine, it should have a certain type of glass.
China.
Because I'm not, and if I'm buying that, I know the clientele knows what it's supposed to be. You're also paying for the decor on the walls, the toilet paper you use, the soap you have. It's all of it. It's what makes you feel like it's not the meal, it's the experience. You walk away with the experience. And we've all gone to places where the food is great, the drinks are great, but you're like, there's something that's off. And I enjoyed my meal, but I didn't enjoy the experience. And that's everything else. That's the uniform the server wears. It's the smile on their face. It's all of those things. So if you're now going into where we're at now, if you're a flip-flop wearing server at a beach restaurant, right? That's casual and cozy, but you're trying to sell $110 lobster, it doesn't feel right.
Right.
Would be the same perception as if you walked into, 1,000 North down in Jupiter, and you got a cheeseburger wrapped in a cellophane thing. It's all
Yeah.
the restaurant world. Everything is psychological. It's all. And then if you ever want to get a good idea of it, watch Bar Rescue with John Taffer.
Oh, one of my favorites.
Because he explains it in the exact way. There's a method to it, how the restaurant's designed, where the tables go, how big the tables are, how many tables, the flow, how you want things to go. It forces people to do things that they subconsciously do. And then also, and I've actually had this conversation with my owner and for thinking about doing it. The number one thing that everyone talks about in restaurants, and this is, I find this hilarious. If you ever go out with women, ask them what the number one thing they talk about in restaurants. It's the bathroom.
Bathroom, always the bathroom.
It's always the bathroom.
Always.
It's always the bathroom. So I told them, I'm like, we should make our ladies' rooms absurdly decadent. And he's like, I don't get it. I'm like, because every wife and girlfriend that goes in that bathroom is going to drag their partners back every single time.
Haley's shaking her head hard. Yes, she's all about it.
It is.
But you know, and it's funny, Paul. Things that, looking back, I can tell that I've noticed. But even going into a men's room in a really nice restaurant, and they have pump soap and it's like, really?
Yeah.
You know, it still cleans my hands.
It doesn't. It's the experience.
It's the experience.
Because in the back of your mind,
I got goosebumps again.
We all say the same thing in the back of your mind. It's, if I'm gonna pay this price.
Yes. Yeah. Don't bring me a $15 martini in a little tiny
Exactly.
Kid's
paper cup.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. If you're gonna charge me, give me the experience.
Right.
People will pay for the experience. It's when you charge the price and it doesn't meet expectation. And that's not just the martini, and that's not just the steak. It's everything. It's all of it. Everybody nowadays will look for any reason why they don't want to come back.
Wow. That your advice, I'm bringing it into my place, you know, and we're not cooking any food in my place. We're putting in windows and doors. But everything that you said is so absolutely right. And it is that boring consistency that keeps people coming back.
That's what it is. If your restaurant, if your business is consistent, your customers will stay. It's when there's fluctuations. And unfortunately, in the restaurant world, there's always fluctuations because you don't quite know what you're getting until you eat it. And sometimes, especially in restaurants that are, I don't want to say struggling, but are more financially conscious, like if I ran a steakhouse that was struggling, I can't eat one of the steaks every single day and waste $300 a product times 7 days a week, blah, blah, like you can't do it. So you're now trusting the vendors, you're trusting the people that make it. There's a lot of different facets to it, and it comes down to training, it comes down to consistency, it comes down to buy-in from your staff. If your staff's not bought in, your business is doomed in anything, especially in the restaurant world, and especially down here, because in our area, everything is incestuous. Every bartender that leaves here goes there, then goes there, then goes there. Same thing with the cooks. It's how it is. And then all they do is, if they had a bad experience working for you or a bad experience there, it spreads like wildfire. And it's not just the staffing, so you can't find staffing, it's the clients. It's the worst. I always say this, the number one enemy of an employee that leaves is a pissed off bartender.
Yep.
That's the number one business killer, because that bartender will tell every single person everywhere they're at about how bad it was.
And a bartender can steal from you, and it's how much theft you have. Employee theft is a big problem.
Oh,
If the bartender's only stealing $100 from you, I'll tell you what, keep him. If he's stealing 500 or 1,000 from you, throw him out.
I mean,
and that's the way it is.
And they always find a different way to do it.
Yep, they're coming up with new ways.
I had one in Fort Lauderdale who he didn't want to be part of the pool because they all tipped. So what he would do was, he would give his Venmo and have him tip on the Venmo. But no one could figure it out for like weeks. We're like, we don't like, how is this?
We know he's doing something.
We're like, what is, I'm like, how are this, like, the bar is full out there. Why are these sales so low? Like, I don't get it.
Oh, wow.
And then, or we like, wait, you did $4,000 in sales out there and you guys only have $700 in tips. Like, this doesn't, like, the math's not mathing. They just don't tip, chef. I'm like,
something's wrong.
Something's wrong. And I'm like, and then one of my friends comes in and he's sitting at the bar, he's having a drink, having for lunch, and the bartender does it right next to him. So then he tells me, and I'm like, one, kudos to him. That's a fucking genius move. Like, I mean, I would have never thought of that.
But take it somewhere else.
But two, I'm like, nah, you gotta go. But it's stuff like that, or it's the bartenders. The bartenders are always the ones because servers can do it too. They're just doing it a different way. Servers are more like, oh, they didn't like this, so we're gonna take it off. But in actuality, they did like it, and they took it off so that they tip more.
Or they put for the awards program, they put their phone number in.
Yes.
So they keep getting the things, so they keep getting the rewards to them. And then you have to go through and scan through the rewards thing while you're not doing it. And see, and then you catch them like that.
Yet another reason I'm not ever going to own a restaurant because I could not possibly keep up.
Are you kidding me? Our job is restaurateur, babysitter, emotional support, contractor, exterminator. What else?
Plumber.
Yeah.
Auto repair.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah.
You know me. This is another thing that I think I'm old enough now to say the younger generation. I feel like I'm there. I don't understand these kids and their inability to like problem solve. Nothing like this happens to me all the time, and maybe I just have bad luck. Chef, I got a flat tire. I can't come into work. What? Yeah, it's a flat tire. I can't come to work. Well, did you put the spare on? What? In the trunk. Spare. Yeah, I don't know how to do that. YouTube, buddy. I'll see you in an hour.
Good for you. Good for you. Listen, if you guys are out there and you're paying attention, he's really not a bad guy. He's a very bright guy who likes things done a certain way, and I picked that up.
Yeah.
I picked that up before we even started today.
Well, so I'm a firm believer of this. You have to show everybody everything. Because how do you hold someone to a standard if you've never shown them what it's supposed to be? I can go to you and say, hey, stack these bricks in the corner. Well, in my mind, it's I want 4 by 4, blah, blah, blah. And let's say you go 8 by 8. You still stack them in the corner. Why do I get mad at you because it's wrong? I didn't tell you. I didn't show you. And it's, don't get me wrong. Sometimes it's like really dumb and redundant where I'm like, hey, put this here or this goes here. But if you don't do it, how do you get mad at them or reprimand them or correct them if they didn't know? And that's another thing that a lot of younger chefs and managers, they have this assumption. It's this expectation. The number one thing that I stop people down their tracks when they say it is, well, they should have not known. You should have shown them, not they should have known. You should show them, as stupid as it is, this is where the vodka goes, especially behind the bar. Because bartenders are like mechanics. Because it's muscle memory. So if you move a bottle, they're grabbing the wrong thing and pouring it. It's 100%. Like if you have your well lined up and it's vodka, gin, tequila, rum, and you move that rum, whatever's over there is what that drink's getting made. Because they're not, especially in a big high volume bar, they're not looking. It's all muscle memory. It's where it is, where it is, where it is, where it is. And if it's off, it's off. And it screws everything up. But they should have looked. No, they shouldn't have. It should have been where it's supposed to be. You should have shown them. As stupid as it sounds, do you have to take the time to do it? Yes. Is it redundant? Yes. That's why part of my job is babysitter. That's what it is.
Well, one bartender will clean the bottles or do whatever and then just start talking to somebody and put it in the wrong place. And then the other bartender comes in and then they're mad. And it's just what you got to deal with. And then you have to talk to them. Well, you could have looked too. I say you're both wrong because
No, that's exactly what it is. You're both wrong. You should have put it back and you should have looked.
Yep.
But you can't get mad when they do it wrong if you never showed them how to do it.
Yep.
It's very odd. In my career and in my life, this is actually really true. I have mellowed out over the years. Like, when I went to New York, I was cutthroat. Because I had to be. Because the other part of winning the show and everything is great and no one wants to talk about this is you're walking into a fucking lion's den. Because there's 20 people in that kitchen that all think you don't deserve to be there. Because who the fuck are you? Because you want a show? You're gonna manage me? Doesn't work that way. Especially in kitchens. Respect is earned and shown. It's not given. If you don't go elbow to elbow with them, if you don't show that you can do it, they will eat you alive. And it's the same thing everywhere. It's different up there because up north at the time, you had people banging down the door for jobs. Every day was 5 people looking for jobs. I need chef. I need to get in. We need bartender. We need this. Nowadays, it's a little different. But up there, I walked in, 28 years old, won a TV show, lived in also because people up north look down on Florida, which I think is funny because they all end up being down here. So it's like my joke is always, oh, so you're in New York until you're 55, and then all of a sudden you become Floridian. But that's what it was, and that experience taught me to be tough, but it also hindered me because I was always tough. And if you're always tough, you go back to what I was saying about how you talk to people. If it doesn't work, then you get, and then it's, oh well, they're just not a fit. It's not that it's not a fit. It is easier to change one person's personality or one person's approach than try to get 50 other people to change the way they receive information. Not changing what I want them to do, but giving it to them so that I can get what I need out of them. And yes, sometimes do you have to be very, oh, it's okay. You burned $500 worth of steaks and you were 2 hours late. And, but I know that you had a hangnail and that was hindering your performance. But I really need you tomorrow to just, come in with sometimes you have to do that. And do I want to do that? No. Is that my personality? Obviously not. But that's what it is. People have to want to work for you. And if they don't want to work for you, you're going to keep rotating out people until you essentially hopefully find those people. But until you find those people, you can't stop your standard. And if that means that it puts it on your shoulders and you don't want that, you got a bigger problem. So, there's 1,000 different types of people that have restaurants, run restaurants, chefs, managers, all that. All depends on your life. There's some people that own restaurants that don't want to ever step foot in them. They own them. They run it. I stay away. There's other ones that will sit there every Thursday night and watch the expo and then go make drinks and talk floors, and there's all that. It all depends on what you want to do. But if you're going to be the owner that's remote and start yelling and screaming at everybody that nothing's getting done, and then they all leave, and you don't want to come do the work, then what's your other answer? Your other answer is to take people that have no God-given business to do what you need them to do and empower them. And then the cycle starts of this is a shit show. Because if the person that was serving tables with me next week is now the general manager because our owner doesn't want to come in and do the work because he fired everybody or they all left or couldn't find the replacements, it shows you who you're dealing with.
All right.
Well,
That listen.
Nice
if
way
you
to
didn't
wrap
if
it.
you didn't get anything out of this,
Yeah.
that you weren't paying attention because there's a lot of life wisdom in there. And
Loved it.
And if you're out there, everyone has a story, and people out there want to hear it. And your story is
Thank you, Paul.
incredible. And I love that you weren't a one and done. I love that you went on that show and you used that as the key to open the door. And we really appreciate you coming on.
I appreciate being here.
It's been
Fun.
I loved it. It's probably been a lot longer on air than I thought it was.
Yep.
Because it passed quick. I think I had a goofy smile on my face most of the time.
Great.
So if you're out there and you have a story, please come and share it with us. Seth is waiting, ready, able to get you on here, and we appreciate you and look forward to doing this again.
Thank you, Seth. Thank you, Haley.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Paul.
Ivan's got the apron on, Harry's got his props. Ken is sticking